Hello, this is One IT Pro Writer versus all of MSDN. I'm your host, Tim L. Hodge. Today we're going to look at how to install SQL Server for Team Foundation Server. We're using SQL Server 2008 R2. It's going to take probably about half an hour, but we're going to try and compress that so we can get the job done as quick as possible. Okay, so here we go. Want to insert the installation for DVD for SQL Server 2008 and double click Setup EXE. The installation program for SQL Server offers to install the appropriate versions of Microsoft.NET Framework and Windows Installer if they're not already installed. You have to install these components to continue with the installation, and you must restart your server if you're prompted. We're not going to have to do any of that stuff, but you may have to depending on the state of your machine. On the SQL Server Installation Center page, click Installation, and then click New Installation or Add Features to an Existing Installation. It'll do its thing, and then you'll get the Setup Support Rules page where you can click OK. Here's where R2 gets a little bit different from the regular version of SQL Server 2008. Instead of doing the product key and the license terms, we're going to go to the Setup Support Files page and click Install. Now, the next page that's going to come up is called the Setup Support Rules page. And this is just SQL Server looking at the state of your machine and trying to identify any potential problems. And we're actually going to see a warning message come up, a warning message for Windows Firewall. Windows Firewall is a little firewall that ships on every version of Windows. It's turned on by default, and you can safely ignore this message if you get it. It's when you install Team Foundation Server will set up exceptions for Windows Firewall. So click Next, put in your product key, click Next, accept the agreement, click Next again. This next page is another R2 only page. It's the Setup Role page, and what you want is the SQL Server feature installation. Okay, so click Next, and that's going to bring us to the feature selection page. Now, Team Foundation Server requires certain SQL Server features. Team Foundation Server also has optional features, reporting, and reporting has its own requirements for SQL Server features. Most of these features are instance features, and that means you can install them on different servers. Team Foundation Server offers a lot of flexibility with topology, but there are some things to watch out for, and we're going to go over all those right now. Okay, Team Foundation Server requires the database engine. We use this to manage and store all relational databases. You don't have to put the database engine on the same server as Team Foundation Server, but wherever you install it, you have to add full text search. Next up is the reporting features, analysis services and reporting services. To get reporting, you need both of these features. They don't have to be on the same server either, and they don't even have to be on the same server as Team Foundation Server, but you need both of them to get reporting. You're also going to want the SQL Server management tools. Now, you don't need to have these. They're not required for Team Foundation Server, but you're probably going to want them just to manage the SQL Server instance. You don't have to install them on the SQL Server. You can install them on your laptop. You can install them wherever you want, and then you can just use that installation of the tools to manage SQL Server. Okay, we're all set up so we can finish this installation and install Team Foundation Server on this machine with reporting. But there's one last thing. Client Tools Connectivity. If we want to install reporting services on a machine other than the server that's going to run Team Foundation Server, we'd have to install Client Tools Connectivity. We're not going to do that now, but that's just one thing that you need to know. Okay, so we're done here. Click Next. Let SQL Server do its thing. And next up is the Installation Rules page. This is another page that looks for potential problems. Click Next again. Okay, this is the instance configuration page. We're just going to use the default instance and then click Next. Okay, next up we're going to check for disk space. I think there's a disk space check here. Just click Next, go right through that. Okay, the next thing is the server configuration page. I always use network service. You can use anything you like. You can use domain account if you want. If you use domain account, you have to type in a password. If you use network service, you leave the password blank, And then the other important thing to remember is to always set everything that you can set to automatic, the startup type. There's one in there that won't let you change it, and that's fine. Okay, next up is the database engine configuration page. What you want to do here is click Add Current User. This adds you to the page there. Might need a minute, and then just click Next. And then next up is the Analysis Services configuration page. It's the exact same thing that you did on the database engine configuration page. Add the current user, put yourself in there, and then click Next. Okay, on the Reporting Services configuration page, click Install the Native Mode Default Configuration, and then click Next. Okay, the next thing is the error reporting page. You can opt into that if you want. Click Next. Now the Installation Configuration Rules page. Click Next again. Okay, on the Ready to Install page, review the list of components to be installed, and when you're ready, click Install. The installation starts, and this takes about, I don't know, 15-20 minutes depending on how fast your machine is. We're going to compress that and zip right through it. Okay, and then that's it. We've completed the installation of SQL Server. This is SQL Server for all the requirements for Team Foundation Server with reporting, and you're ready. There's one last thing. We also recommend that you configure analysis servers to recover on failover, and if you give me a minute here to just close all this stuff down, I can show you how to do that. So you want to go to the Services Control Panel, click Start, point to All Programs, Administrative Tools, and then click Services. Okay, once the Services Control Panel comes up, you want to search the list for the Windows servers for SQL Server Analysis Services, and then you want to select Properties, right-click it, and select Properties. Okay, once that comes up, click the Recovery tab. And in the first failure list, click Restart the Service. In the second failure list, click Restart the Service. And in the subsequent failure list, click Restart the Service. Click OK, and we're done. Okay, well, thanks for your time. We're going to do a few more of these. If there's other scenarios you'd like to see done, let me know what they are, and we'll try to get them out there. Thanks.